Welcome to a deep dive into the world of Elon Musk and OpenAI. You've brought us a fascinating collection of emails, articles, and statements. And let me tell you, it reads like a sci-fi thriller.
It really does. We're talking about a story of ambition, conflicting visions, and ultimately a battle for control over what could be the most powerful technology in human history. Artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Right from the start, AGI is at the heart of this whole saga. We're not just talking about AI that can beat you at chess or write a catchy jingle.
hmm
AGI is about creating AI that can learn and reason like a human being,
hmm
potentially surpassing us in ways we can't even imagine.
And that potential, that's what drew Musk and others to this field. It's like the ultimate frontier, pushing the very boundaries of what's possible. But from the beginning, there were different ideas about how to get there.
So let's rewind to 2015, the birth of OpenAI. It starts as this nonprofit co-founded by Musk and Sam Altman, this group of brilliant minds like Ilya Sutskever, their chief scientist. They're all united by this vision of developing AGI for the benefit of all humanity. But even then, cracks were starting to show.
Musk actually suggested a for-profit structure initially. He argued that if they wanted to compete with the likes of Google and DeepMind, they needed to operate like a cutting-edge tech company, not a research lab.
There's that Musk we all know, right? Always thinking big, always looking for the most efficient path to achieve his goals. But the team pushed back, favoring the nonprofit route. I guess they saw the potential dangers of putting such a powerful technology in the hands of a for-profit entity.
It's a tension that's been there from day one. How do you balance the need for rapid progress with the responsibility of ensuring that such progress benefits everyone? And that tension only grew as OpenAI started to make real strides.
Their Dota 2 project in 2017 really brought that tension to the forefront. Here they had this AI that could take on professional gamers, a mind-blowing achievement. But to get there, they needed massive computing power, billions of dollars worth.
This wasn't just about playing a game. This AI had to learn complex strategy, react in real time, make decisions with incomplete information. Just like a human player, the computational demands were enormous.
And it was Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's chief scientist, who really drove that point home. He argued that hardware, raw computing power, was the ultimate bottleneck to achieving AGI. His prediction was that with enough compute power, the breakthroughs would become inevitable.
It's a fascinating insight. You see this idea that if you can just throw enough resources at the problem, the solutions will emerge almost organically. It's a very Musk-like approach, come to think of it. But it also raises the question of who controls those resources, who gets to set the agenda for AGI development.
Which brings us to the summer of 2017, the moment when things really start to heat up. OpenAI leadership, including Musk, realizes they need a for-profit arm to attract the kind of investment they need to stay in the game. But that's when Musk makes his move.
He demands majority equity control of the board and the CEO position. It's a power play, no doubt about it. He argued that he needed to safeguard against potential AI dictatorships.
Musk registering a for-profit company called Open Artificial Intelligence Technologies, Inc. in September 2017 really cemented that idea. It's like he was ready to go head-to-head if they didn't meet his demands.
And remember, this is the same Elon Musk who was talking about needing $80 billion for a Martian city around the same time. It's that same audacious, almost outlandish ambition that he brought to the table with OpenAI.
But OpenAI wasn't about to just roll over.
Hmm.
They rejected Musk's terms, expressing serious concerns about concentrating that much power in the hands of one person.
Their response was pretty clear. The goal of OpenAI is to make the future good and to avoid an AGI dictatorship. They believed that putting so much control in Musk's hands could actually lead to the very outcome they were trying to prevent.
It's like a philosophical clash,
Yeah.
right? Two sides both deeply committed to the idea of beneficial AI, but with fundamentally different approaches to achieving it.
Yeah, it is fascinating to think about like all that was at stake, back then.
Right.
You have this idealistic group of researchers at OpenAI fueled by this vision of AGI benefiting all of humanity.
Yeah, they were truly David facing Goliath. I mean, think about it. You have these companies like Google and DeepMind already pouring massive resources into AI research, and here's OpenAI trying to make their mark with a significantly smaller budget.
And yet they managed to attract some of the brightest minds in the field. It speaks volumes about the power of their mission, their commitment to doing things differently. There's this palpable sense of excitement and urgency in those early emails and communications. A belief that they were on the verge of something truly revolutionary.
It reminds me of those classic stories of innovation, like the early days of the internet or the space race. There's this feeling of being on the frontier, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But as we've seen, That initial optimism soon collided with the realities of AGI research.
Yeah, the sheer scale of the computing power needed to make significant progress was just staggering. It's like they had this incredibly powerful engine, but they were lacking the rocket ship to put it in.
And that's where the dilemma with Musk really comes into play. Could they remain true to their nonprofit mission, this idea of open and accessible AI, while also securing the billions of dollars needed to compete on a global scale?
Right. It's a challenge many organizations face, particularly in a field like AI, where innovation is so closely tied to computational resources. You need the infrastructure to run these complex models, to train them on massive data sets, to iterate and experiment at a pace that keeps you ahead of the curve.
And then you have Musk, who enters the scene with this characteristic go big or go home mentality. He's demanding control, pushing for a more aggressive, some might even say reckless approach.
That's a common thread throughout Musk's career, isn't it? He's never been afraid to disrupt the status quo, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to pursue ambitious goals with a single-minded focus. And in this case, that approach clashed directly with the culture and values of OpenAI.
To be fair to Musk, he was pouring a lot of his own money into OpenAI, and he clearly had strong convictions about how to steer AGI development. He's been vocal about the potential dangers of unchecked AI, this fear of an AI dictatorship, as he puts it.
And it's worth noting that Musk has repeatedly expressed these concerns, even drawing comparisons between the potential risks of uncontrolled AI and the threat of nuclear weapons. He sees control as the only way to mitigate those risks, and that's where his desire for control stems from.
It does make you wonder, is that level of ambition, that willingness to take risks, essential for driving truly groundbreaking progress? Or can it lead to unnecessary conflict and division, as it seems to have done in this case?
It's a crucial question, and one that goes beyond just the world of AI. How do you balance the drive for innovation with the need for ethical considerations, for ensuring that these powerful technologies are developed and deployed responsibly?
And that brings us back to the heart of the conflict between Musk and OpenAI. They felt that his demands for control would ultimately undermine their core mission, potentially turning AGI into a tool for power and profit, rather than a force for good as they intended.
Right. It was a fundamental disagreement about values and priorities. Musk, driven by his fear of a dystopian future, saw control as the only way to mitigate the risks associated with AGI. OpenAI, committed to their vision of a future where AGI benefits all of humanity, saw that same control as a potential catalyst for the very problem they were trying to solve.
So you have this incredibly complex situation, right? Two sides, both deeply passionate about the potential of AI, but fundamentally at odds about the best path forward. And ultimately, that disagreement leads to one of the most significant turning points in the history of AI, the split between Musk and OpenAI.
It's like watching a real-life science fiction story unfold. You have this clash of titans, this battle of ideas that will ultimately shape the future of one of the most powerful technologies ever conceived.
And the repercussions of that split are still being felt today. Musk goes on to found xAI, his own venture focused on developing what he calls Truth GPT, an AI with an emphasis on understanding the fundamental nature of the universe.
It's another audacious goal, something that speaks to Musk's grand ambitions. He's not just content with building practical AI systems. He wants to push the boundaries of what's possible, to explore the very nature of reality through the lens of AI.
Which brings us to the other side of the coin, OpenAI's journey after the split with Musk. How did they navigate the challenges of AGI development without his influence and resources? So OpenAI is forging ahead without Musk. Did they falter? Did they prove him right?
Well, 2019 was a pivotal year. They announced the creation of OpenAI LP, this unique capped profit entity. It was a way to attract serious investment without completely abandoning their nonprofit roots.
Ingenious, really. They were threading a needle, trying to balance the demands of cutting-edge research with their commitment to ethical development. Did it work?
It's like they cracked the code. This move attracted a billion-dollar investment from Microsoft, a monumental vote of confidence. Suddenly, they had the resources to truly compete with the giants.
And then came the GPT series, which really launched OpenAI into the public consciousness.
Yeah, GPT-3 and its successors were groundbreaking.
Right.
They weren't just impressive feats of engineering, they captured the public's imagination. Suddenly, AI could write poetry code software, even hold eerily human-like conversations.
You remember the first time you interacted with a GPT model? It was like stepping into the future. It made you question what AI was truly capable of.
Exactly. And it sparked a crucial debate. Is this AI truly understanding what it's generating, or is it just a very sophisticated mimic? That's a question that still resonates today.
It's remarkable how OpenAI managed to navigate those choppy waters, achieving breakthroughs while seemingly upholding their commitment to ethical development.
It is a testament to their vision, but it's also important to acknowledge that their approach has been met with its fair share of criticism. Some argue that their capped profit model is just a way to appease investors while ultimately pursuing commercial interests.
Yeah, a valid point. It's like walking a tightrope. Can you truly balance groundbreaking AI research with a genuine commitment to ethical development? Or are compromises inevitable?
Meanwhile, on the other side of this AI arms race, you have Musk and his XAI venture.
Right, Truth GPT, as he calls it. It's almost like he's trying to outdo OpenAI in terms of sheer ambition.
Musk claims he's building an AI that's less focused on practical applications and more on understanding the fundamental nature of the universe. It's a lofty goal, to say the least.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what does Musk truly believe is possible with AI?
Yeah, it's difficult to say, but it's clear he sees AI as more than just a tool to solve problems. He seems to believe it holds the key to unlocking some of the universe's greatest mysteries.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
where do we stand?
Yeah.
What have we learned from this saga of ambition, conflict, and technological revolution?
I think it highlights the immense power of AI to transform our world, for better or worse. From revolutionizing healthcare to potentially reshaping the job market, the implications are staggering.
It's almost like we're standing at a crossroads. The choices we make now, the paths we choose will determine the course of AI development for generations to come.
And what's fascinating is that this story is still being written. Both OpenAI and XAI are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, each with their own vision for the future of AI.
It's a future that we're all part of, whether we realize it or not. This deep dive has been a glimpse into the forces that are shaping that future, and it underscores the importance of staying informed and engaged.
Exactly. We need to be having these conversations, questioning assumptions and demanding transparency from those who are developing these powerful technologies.
Because ultimately, the future of AI is the future of humanity. It's up to all of us to ensure that it's a future we could all be proud of.
Yeah, that's a powerful thought to leave us with. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and keep those questions coming.